Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have the pleasure of having Teresa B. Howell, an author of That Church Life and other novels, on my channel today. Welcome, Teresa.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Okay, please introduce yourself to the subscribers.
Okay, my name is Teresa B. Howell. I am a teacher by trade, but I love writing Christian fiction novels. I was fortunate enough to come into the Christian fiction lit world and do very well with my books. I have a trilogy called That Church Life. It has 3 parts to it. I have a book called Delayed But Not Denied, and I also have a nonfiction book called Positive Vibes Only. I've been blessed to have That Church Life. It has been turned into a play, and now we're working on going to the screen. So within 3 years, I would say me and my crew, we have been doing a lot. So thank you for having me to talk about these books because they are doing great things these days.
All right.
Oh, and the audible's out too for book 1.
Okay. What is your book? What is your genre?
Christian fiction.
Okay. How did you choose this genre that you write in?
I didn't actually choose it. It chose me. When I wrote book 1, I felt it was a book that was just in a church setting, but Christian fiction readers actually liked it. So when I first started off, I think I put it in like thriller suspense or something because it was a lot of mystery and it was a page turner. But then once the Christian fiction world got a hold of it, I changed it, and I've been Christian fiction ever since.
Okay. What made you want to become an author?
It was by accident. Someone suggested that I write because I was going through a rough time with my grandmother had passed, and she was like a mother to me. And so someone suggested that, maybe you should, write a little bit. It's therapeutic and can kind of get you through what you're going through. But what she didn't tell me was that it was prophetic. She said God told her. She waited till after I wrote the book before she gave me all the details. And so I've been writing ever since.
Okay. Where do you get your ideas from?
Life, real life scenarios, things that I've witnessed growing up in a church, people that I've seen do different things, a lot of church drama that I've been made privy to. And so that's how my stories come about.
Okay, let's talk about your books. Now, your first book, That Church Life. Let's talk about this first.
Oh, man, Queenie, you got the old cover. I need to send you the one with the new cover.
It's a new cover?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the old one.
Okay.
I got to send you the new.
Okay.
But the first book, being that it was my first book, it was easy, but then it was challenging because once I put it out there, I didn't know that it was going to reach as many people that it was going to reach. So then once I noticed how far it was going, I was like, "Ooh, let me change some part of this storyline. Let me add this. Let me delete this." So basically, the trilogy is focused around domestic violence. There's a generational preacher who's supposed to take over the church because her dad wants to retire, but she's dealing with domestic violence. And so it kind of touched a lot of people because it's real. Domestic violence is real in the church. It's just that people don't talk about it. So it takes her through the journey of how she's dealing with domestic violence and the people around her, what they're doing, how they're reacting, and things of that nature.
Okay. And then there's book 2.
Yeah, that's book 2. So once you get into book 2, the book 1 takes you on Missy's journey. Book 2 takes you on one of her friends' journey, which her name is Michelle. And so there's some secrets that come out about their friendship that I can't reveal.
I can't find book 3, but tell us about that church life 3.
Okay. Book 3 talks about the victorious side of that church life. And so there's a lot of good things that happen in book 3 that people seem to really enjoy the most out of all 3 books. But you get to see how people overcome, how their faith is strengthened, and things of that nature. So,
okay,
but there is a happy ending.
and then last week I got to meet you, and I bought this book. So tell us about Delayed but Not Denied.
That story is based upon some more drama in the church. A first lady who I don't want to give it all away, but she's doing some things she ain't got no business doing.
Okay.
And there's some people involved. And it talks about her journey on how she's dealing with her discretions. So I'll say that. I can't give it away, Queenie. You ain't ready yet.
All right. Okay, the next question. Do you work with an outline or you just write?
I am definitely a pantser. I write at the seat of my pants. I don't have an outline. I don't know what I'm going to say when I start. And I will actually go back and change stuff like 50 million times before I'm satisfied with it. So I'm very picky about what I'm writing about.
Can you tell us about a challenge in getting your first book published?
Oh man, yeah, that was kind of challenging because I didn't know the industry like I know it now. I met a lot of people that were they saw green all over me and they were having a good time taking my money. So I learned a lot of life lessons making book 1.
What impact have you encountered during writing?
I've had women come up to me and say, thank you for writing that story about domestic violence because it was their story, and how it made them feel good that they walked away from a situation, or it made them be more empowered to stay away from a situation. So I've heard stories like that. I was actually at a domestic violence forum last month where a couple of survivors had bought the book and we had discussions. So it's impacted me more than I've ever thought that it would, because I had no idea that I would be doing this or taking it as far as I've taken it.
Okay. What is your role in the writing community?
I did at one time try to like publish and help other writers and things of that nature. But once the play came about, I had to slow it down and concentrate on traveling and a cast and things of that nature. But at one time I was trying to help as much as I could, but my impact is not as great these days due to traveling.
Well, let's talk about the play. How did it originate and where are you at now?
So it originated, the script was, I got some help. It's basically from my book, from book 1, and it has parts of part 2 and part 3. Someone helped me kind of put it in script form, and that took about a year. And once that was completed, I put a cast together, did a casting call. Fortunate enough that my director is my cousin.
Wow.
Yeah, he's over the theater department at Winston-Salem State. So it wasn't a hard transition to go from book to script. And once he got a hold of it, he kind of enhanced the script a little bit more and made it more and more than what it is. But we've been fortunate. We've had 4 shows and they've all been sold out. So it's been catching the eye of a lot of readers and a lot of people who enjoy theater.
Okay. In your own words, how do you see the future writers as it is today?
I wish that some of the writers would take writing seriously. There are a lot of writers out there that they're just putting stuff on Amazon, and they're not getting editors, and they're not getting people to help them make it quality work, or they're not taking training. No matter how good you are, I mean, I was told that writing is a gift for me, but even as a gift, I still want to learn. I still take training. I took a training class with Victoria Christopher Murray once. It was about 4 weeks of editing. So I still want to know. I still want to grow in my writing. Just don't stay stagnant and think that, you know, you're the best of the best and you don't need training, because everybody could use some training. So yeah, my advice to anybody coming up in this industry is to make sure that they have a good editor and a coach or a mentor.
Okay. How does your book relate to your spiritual practices or other life paths?
Well, with that church life, you know, because she was dealing with domestic violence, I mean, sorry, my phone tried to ring. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, good. Dealing with domestic violence and trying to help people, that's me in my spiritual life. I am always trying to please others and always trying to make sure that others are okay. So that's why it was easy for me to write a story such as this, because I am that, you know, I don't go to church for titles and all that. I go to bring people closer to God and make sure that in this life that they're okay.
And what is your testimony?
My testimony is I've overcome a lot. I've seen a lot and I've overcome a lot, and I've helped a lot. And I've accepted help myself. I was one of those people that didn't want people to know what I was going through, and kind of kept things to myself. But now as I grow, I'm learning that, hey, I need people too. So my testimony is, through this process, I've seen a lot of growth in my spiritual walk, and how I can help others make theirs a little bit better as well.
Okay. What do you consider to be your best accomplishment?
Well, being an educator, I think my best accomplishment, I mean, I love writing. I love all the awards. I've gotten all these awards lately for best playwright and best inspirational writer. All those are good. But I think my greatest thing is in the classroom, when I deal with students with behaviors, when I can see them overcome behaviors and walk across that stage and graduate. I feel those are my most best accomplishments.
Yeah.
Writing is good, but when you actually get to see stuff in real life transform, kids that came in throwing chairs to now can sit and have a decent conversation, that's my greatest achievement.
What project are you working on at this present time?
I have a book called Pastor Delilah that I'm working on, and it's very detailed, and it's really hard for me writing this one, but I think this will probably be my best one yet, because I'm taking my time with it. But I'm working on that. I have another book called My Sister's Keeper that I'm working on as well. So hopefully in 2020, I'll have 5 completed books, but they probably won't all come out in 2020.
And where can your readers get in touch with you? Or how can they get in touch with you?
On all social media handles, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, I am author Teresa B. I have fan pages on all of those sites. Also, my website is teresabhowell.com, and my personal email address is info@teresabhowell.com. And all my books are on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
All right. Is there anything you would like to say before we close?
Overcomers never quit, and quitters never overcome.
Amen. Well, I want to thank you this afternoon for coming in and gracing us with your presence, and I appreciate your time and your craft. And this is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. I love y'all. Bye.
Thank you, Queenie.